All right. Welcome, guys. Awesome. I'm excited to do this with you guys tonight. There's a lot of new faces on it. A lot of people will come on as we get started. And I will be recording it. And a lot of you guys can watch the recording. You share it with your teams. I was just sharing with Linda when she came on that Lisa and I have joined this mastermind called Thrive Connect. Everybody thinks it's a product. It's not a product. It's a company. And I'm going to show you guys a really cool thing here from my when I start my little slide presentation here. I was just sharing with Linda that one of the really cool things about Lisa and I's trip to Las Vegas, and some of you are new and you may have heard some of this, but this is one of our new mentors over here on the left-hand side. His name is Cole Hatter. Lisa and I were on the phone today with him for about 30 minutes. The guy's just an amazing guy. One of the most amazing things that I learned from Cole from the beginning is that he told me, and there's a lot of you on this phone call tonight will think just like Cole thinks. Cole, I'm actually going to Mexico in December with Cole and about 30 other people to work at Cole's orphanage that he takes all of his thrivers, his tribe, we call it a tribe, like Julie White's tribe, Julie, and we are going to go and we're going to work in the orphanage for a complete week. And so what's really cool about that is that, guys, if you've never been on a LifeVantage trip, okay, this is that times 4, because you're working with the kids, you're building things, and he's bringing in a coach that I will tell you guys more about as we go. And guys, I'm going to tell you one of the main reasons why Lisa and I have invested so much money in a mastermind. It's changed our life in the last 2 to 3 months. We've invested in 2. You can see a picture of Cole and his wife, Sonia, right there with Les Brown. To me, Les Brown's one of the most amazing business teachers that walks the face of the earth. We loved him. I was telling Linda earlier, if you guys haven't had a chance to listen to my teaching on Unleashing Your Brain's Potential by Jim Quick, make sure every single one of your distributors that's going to our Lead Academy in Orlando watches that video, because he teaches you how to take notes at an event and how to come back. And guys, I'm just going to tell you, this happens every single time with your teams. You will come back from an event and you will hear a lot of information, but yet you'll never put that information into action. And it's not a knock on anybody on here. It's just what happens. It happens on a regular basis. And so Jim Quick taught us, and I taught you. And so what I'm going to be teaching you guys is that I'm going to a mastermind next week, or in 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. And next week I'll be in Ohio. But in 3 weeks, I'm going to a mastermind, in a 3-day mastermind in San Diego, California. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pour into you guys what I learned. I will tell you this. What I've learned the most about these masterminds is that they teach you how to build a business, and they teach you how to network and build relationships. And it's all about relationships. The more relationships that you build, the better your businesses will grow. And I can tell you this, I've never been more excited about LifeVantage than I am right now. And the reason I'm super excited about this is because nobody knows what we have. And you guys that are on this call tonight, the 20, and we usually been having between 20 and 50 people on these calls, are the 10 percenters. You're the people that will hopefully be in this for the rest of your life when this becomes a $500 and $1 billion and a multi-billion-dollar company. Because I was telling Linda this when I first came on. All of these people, I have probably 200 leads now, and none of them know about LifeVantage. We have Cole has what's called a private Facebook for Thrive, and he's got former Thrive members and now he has 50 new Thrive members. And these are people, I'll just tell you, that are paying a lot of money. I'm not going to mention the amount of money, but it's a lot of money. And Lisa and I have been praying about this, and we decided that we were going to invest so that we could invest in you guys. And I'll tell you, one of the things I like about a lot of people in LifeVantage that whose businesses are growing, they've invested a lot in personal development. And I'll just tell you, it takes money to make money. You can never invest in yourself. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you some stuff tonight that I think once you're done with this information, that it will drive you to be, number one, a better person, number one, a better friend, and number three, a better business partner for everybody in your group and your upline and even on up and cross line and sidelines. So I'm honored today, like a lot of you don't know this, but I'm getting ready to let Lisa retire. Cole is great with investing money, and we did a 30-minute call, and he gave me massive ways to turn. One of the things my wife and I have learned, that her 401k sucks. And 95% of 401, and I'm not discouraging anybody, but 95% of them suck. You work 30 years and you look at you like my wife, and you look at your 401k and you're thinking something's wrong here. And Cole took me and took me aside and said, Mike, he said, I want to live, and you guys are going to appreciate this, I want to live off the 10% and give the 90% away. And I want to teach people how, just like it says on my hat, to make money matter. And that's what's important, guys. We should all come together to make money matter, to help each other, encourage each other, connect, build relationships. So let's dive into this. I'm going to use a couple things that I learned from the event, but I'm going to learn some stuff that I used from John Maxwell. I spent a lot of time on this, and I taught this to Kai Hayes' group last Saturday. She had over 30-some people that watched it, and then I can't even begin to tell you the amount of people that have texted me and emailed me and asked for the copy of it. And luckily, somebody else recorded it because it didn't record for me for some reason. So what was great is one of her people recorded it. So let's talk about the real truth about personal development. Personal development is a lifelong process. It's a way for people to access their skills and qualities, consider their aims in life, and set goals in order to realize and maximize your potential. Guys, I'm going to be vulnerable to you guys tonight. I've been praying about this all day. I'm going to be completely vulnerable to you. I have messed up a lot in business. I have lived under my potential. I was a 6-figure earner in the fitness industry, and I'm just going to be real and frank with you guys. If your mentality is only to be a Pro 4 or a Pro 5 or a Pro 6 or just do that, I'm going to be frank and open with you guys. My goal is to make an impact in every single person's life that comes into my life. And that's my goal. And I believe a lot of us have not been doing that. We've been living below who God has called us to be. And that starts with personal development. I've learned that also what I'm going to do is I'm going to be vulnerable by saying, look, I've messed up. I've screwed up. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest in personal development, and I'm going to be able to pour that back into people. And I'm going to be honest with you. My goal is in the next 2 to 3 years is to make $100,000 a month, not $100,000 a year anymore, $100,000 a month. And some of you may think, oh, I'm not capable of doing that. Let me tell you something. I watched a show, and if you guys want to watch it, I put it on my Facebook page. I watched 3 kids under the age of 30 who will make $1 million this year. Okay, and some of them 2 and 3 years ago were broke. Okay, one of my mentors that I hired from his mastermind is a guy that, if you never got to see my call that I had a couple months ago with Nicholas Barely. Nicholas, at 21 years old, was living in his car, eating ramen noodles, and he would go into gas stations and put them in the microwave and cook them and then come back out and feed them to his wife, okay? Now, 4 years later, he was just voted by Forbes. I get goosebumps when I think about it. 4 years later, he's now, by Forbes magazine, one of the top 20 entrepreneurs under the age of 30. Why? All because of a mindset. He decided that he wasn't going to look at his circumstance or what other people said, and he shifted that mindset. And for me, I made a lot of money in the fitness industry, and now I made more in a month. I made more in a month than I made in 3 months working in the gym business from personal development. So let's go on to the next thing. Without a plan, you're not growing. You're not growing. You're not going anywhere, okay? Personal growth doesn't happen by accident. It's not an automatic process. If you want to guarantee growth, then you need a plan. Think about this, taking notes, strategic, specific, and scheduled. I just bought one of Grant Cardone's schedules, okay? He's got it all mapped out of how if you've got multiple streams of income. You know, my wife is in the other room right now with a friend of ours who we're investing some money with in the mortgage and housing industry. You need, what does Warren Buffett say? If you don't find a way to make money when you sleep, you work till you die, right? And so I like this. I found this from Earl Nightingale, who I've become to like as a motivational speaker. If a person will spend 1 hour a day on the same subject for 5 years, that person will become an expert on that subject. Isn't that incredible? It shows how far we are able to go when we have the discipline to make a daily practice. You know, I shared some results that I'm having with these guys in my 90-day programs. Not only are they losing weight and getting off of medications, I've got guys getting off of insulin and it's mind-blowing, but their marriages are better, their relationships are better, their businesses are thriving. And I love what Jim Rome said. You can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. If you want to reach your goals and fulfill your potential, become intentional about your personal growth. It will change your life. My life over the last year, 6 months, and even the last 2 months has been changed beyond anything that God tells me that I could think or imagine. Think about what this says. Personal development is a conscious choice to improve one's life, to become a better person, and to grow as an individual. I love that. So let's talk about a couple different things that go with growth. A plan for growth requires you to do what? Set aside time to grow. I love this. Look at this. I love this. It's very profound when you think about it. It says from 13 to 20 years old, depending on how long we stay in school. I laughed when I shared this with one of the guys on the call Saturday. He's like, oh, my son's 26 and he's still in school, right? So maybe I should change that to 26. It says, yet upon graduation, many of us never pick up another book, right? Going to the next level in your career demands that you take responsibility for your personal growth. And I'm just going to tell you, you spend 30 minutes a day reading. Cole told me this. Les Brown said he does this. John Maxwell does this. All of the great leadership development teachers put these steps into action. The secret to success is determined by your daily agenda. Guys, if you look behind me, I have a board here, and I have 3 of these now where I put my schedules on and I stay focused. Like I see Mike's in the bottom of my one of the things. Mike is in corporate America. If I'm Mike and I want to get out of my comfort zone, I'm going to write down a weekly and a daily and a monthly agenda that's going to push me in and towards the purpose and the things that God has called me to do. I can't stay the same if I want to grow. I have to change. I don't know about you guys, but for most people, change is uncomfortable, right? This thing says the secret to success is, okay, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. Be practical about your growth. It's funny. Julie asked me if I had a 6-pack yet, which is really funny because I almost do, which is, and I'm not, and Julie makes me laugh because it's just the way it is. I was in a car accident. A lot of things happened. I gained a lot of weight, and I will never ever go back there again. Guys, a lot of when people buy into something, whether it's being your business partner in LifeVantage or want to listen to the products, they look at how you take care of yourself and what proceeds out of your mouth. Are you confident? Are you encouraging? Are you doing things that attract people to you? Like, if I want to go into corporate America, or I want to go into some businesses, I know Mike Hinkey personally enough to know where I can say to him, Mike, I've got a question about this. What's your opinion on it? Why do I do that? Because I have a relationship with him. Because he comes on here every Thursday and learns and grows from that. And I'm gonna call him out. I always do. He loves it. I'm gonna push him, but from now to the end of the year and to the beginning of the year, he doesn't know this because I haven't told him this, but to become a person of influence so that when he retires, he has something that's bigger than what he thought or could imagine. And in life, leaders are developed by people who push other people to become all that God's called them to be. And see, oftentimes, enthusiasm to replace vigorous discipline in a detailed plan. Oftentimes, we get hyped up, think about this, to learn something new, and then quickly we abandon the project as soon as our initial excitement subsides. To sustain growth, we need to schedule it. It's just like for instance, now, if you looked at my schedule for next year and the rest of this year, it's all planned out. All LifeVantage events are in there. I've bought my tickets for LifeVantage Academy. I've planned out everything so that I'm intentional. A lot of you guys have read John Maxwell's book right now, right? Or some of you are still reading it and still taking his course, right? Exactly. I like how Julie just said it's Mansfield, PA on your schedule. If you're intentional to do these type of things, you're going to do it. If you're not, you won't. I have all my masterminds scheduled out, all of my trainings and all of the things that I'm going to do. You know, Brandon said today that everybody should have some type of training scheduled for the first weekend in December. I'm helping people do that, getting people actively doing that. So let's go on to number 2 here. Okay, so here's some books that I put on here. I will send these slides to you guys, but if you need to take pictures of them, you're more than welcome to do that. Here's some books that have made a massive impact in my life. I can tell you right now that I'm just getting ready to read. I've been reading a little bit of it, but I'm going to dive into it, is The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. The Compound Effect. Obviously, you know, I've said the Bible and the 15 Laws of Growth. How Successful People Think. I can tell you one of the best books you will ever read is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Phenomenal book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm just going to tell you, I've failed at that, and I'm rereading it, and I'm going to put it into action. Awakening the Giant by Tony Robbins. Phenomenal. What's the number one thing that we fear in business is when people tell us no, okay? I love the book by Fenton and Waltz called Go for No. So those are a couple books that if you guys don't have them in your library, trust me, get them in your library, okay? Let's go on to the next thing. All right, so let's talk about growth. Identify yourself. Identify your areas of growth. And you guys, I learned this and I studied it and I thought, and I grasped my mind around it. Choose to grow in areas of your strengths, not always in the areas of your weakness, okay? If you grow in your strengths, God will work out your weaknesses, okay? Making this commitment requires us to swim against the prevailing cultural current. And this comes from John Maxwell. He said, we're taught to be well-rounded and to improve our weakness. However, in many arenas of life, we naturally perform poorly. I'm just going to tell you, Lisa's great with the financial part. I'm raising my hand, and if you can see me, I'm waving the white flag. I suck at the financial thing. But she's good at that stuff. She's in there right now with William going over some things. I don't like it, right? but I'm good in the kitchen. Lisa doesn't like the kitchen, right? So those are things that we work on, right? So no one gets excited to dine out at an average restaurant, to spend 2 hours watching an average movie, or to hire someone with average abilities. This goes back to people buying into you. If you're healthy and you're fit and you look good to somebody, it's the first. I just said this to my massage therapist today. She said, Mike, tell me the number one thing I need to do. I said, you're one of the best massage therapists ever, but you've been struggling with the same issues for year after year after year after year, your weight. And you need to lose 100 pounds. And she said, done. And if I would have told her that a year ago, she wouldn't have received it well. She would have cried, curled up in a ball. But now she asked. So I told her. So here's the next point. Success comes when we identify our natural talents and then we work diligently to develop them into extraordinary skills. Concentrate on fine-tuning your strengths, on climbing from above average to excellent in area, rather than shoring up your weaknesses, okay? When you stray from your strength, you not only guys, listen to this. You not only limit yourself, but you also negatively impact your team, okay? I can tell you what, there's a lot of people on my team that have certain strengths and they find me. Chris and I are very close. Chris shows me things that he's strong in. I show him things that I'm strong in. And we feed off of each other. We feed off of learning from each other's mistakes, how to encourage each other, how to build each other up. So, and number 3 says, find resources in your area of growth. I love this. People keep a poker close to the fire so that they can stir the coals and keep the fire hot, right? In the same way, stay close to passionate people who stir up your curiosity. Associate with fellow learners who will challenge your thinking and inspire you to grow. You guys hear this, but you've got to please take it to heart. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your mentors are changed. Like I'm going to tell you right now, there's people that need to be on this call that aren't on here that need to hear this, because this is why they're not on here, because they don't want to hear this and they don't want to grow. I've learned that growth starts with humility and starts with being around people that tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I think one of the reasons why Mike Kinky and I have such a good relationship is because I tell him things that he needs to hear, not things that he wants to hear. And I know he's going to give me a thumbs up because we've had this conversation before. It's why we've built such a connection in this group with certain people that are on here every week, because it's why we do what we do. He says, absolutely. So that's why I want you guys to think about it. And think about this. It says, in addition to finding people who will encourage your growth, track down great content and file it away for future reference. Leaders are readers. They're hungry for insights. Somebody just came on. If you can mute your line, that would be great, guys. I don't know who it was, but if you just came on and somebody please. Okay, there you go. I'm muted. I think I found who it was. So here's what you have to think about when you're thinking about this, okay? Leaders are readers. They're hungry for insights, and when they come across knowledge, they have a system for storing it up for eventual use. And I put, watch my YouTube video on unlocking your brain's potential. I'm putting all of these in. When I started posting these on my Facebook page, I started having 15 to 20 people a week subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you guys this. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a thumb drive, okay? This is how to make your business grow on YouTube. How many of you on here would like to use social media and YouTube to gain customers and business distributors? Sign of hands. I'm raising both of my hands, okay? So here's what's a great thing. This flash drive is something, exactly, Beth, I'm raising my hand too. This thumb drive is something that I'm going to spend hours upon, because there's I think 6 hours of content on here. This guy right here makes about $900,000 a year on YouTube, How many people, when they watch YouTube, they see the commercials when they come up, and they see Tai Lopez say, "Hey, I'm in my garage." How many people, like, you have to watch about 15 seconds of it, and then you can go on to watching the YouTube. Guys, these are way guys are making money by building these type of things. And so I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. So let me go on. I'm staying on track. Okay. Let me go on next. Okay. Fourth, apply what you've learned. Okay. I can tell you that my Unlocking Your Brain's Potential taught me and Lisa how to take notes. I can't even begin to tell you, we probably took about 60 pages of notes when we were in Las Vegas and I was mentioning this to Linda, is that we had close to 20, I think we had 26 speakers. I got to hear Grant Cardone's wife. I got to hear Tai Lopez. I got to hear Lori Harder. These were people in the network marketing industry. These were people in the real estate industry. I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched any of the Insanity or Beachbody videos. We had Sean T, who was there. He was one of the speakers. He had us all doing some exercises, which was kind of cool. But he talked about applying what you've learned. And this is from John Maxwell. The whole exercise of seeking knowledge is fruitless unless you find a way to apply what you've learned. Take this to heart, you guys. One helpful practice is to follow the 24-hour rule. Every time you learn something significant, share this lesson with someone else within 24 hours. If you do not have an accountability partner, you're missing a significant part of your life. If you do not practice or pass along what you've learned, then it will not become part of your life and you'll lose it. You learn the most and retain what you learn when you teach it to others. So have an accountability partner. Teach your accountability partner what you learn. Look at these three things I put down here. You guys always know I'm going to put a scripture down. James 1:5 said, if any of you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who generously gives it to you. I like the sounds of that. And if those of you who don't know this, there's a difference, and I know I'm picking on Mike, but I'm using, there's a difference from the godly wisdom that Mike has got from being excellent in his field compared to the wisdom that God has given him to be even greater at what he does. And I can tell you that's where, as we expound on that wisdom, I like it says wisdom without application is worthless. If God gives you wisdom and you don't put it into action, it's worthless. Growing happens when you know how to change when what you know changes how you live. And then so let's finish with this, okay? Questions to consider. I want you guys to ponder these questions, okay? Growth is the great separator of those who succeed and those who don't. Consider the following questions. Now, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to write these 4 questions down, take a screenshot of it, but I want you guys to, in the next 24 hours, I want you to ask yourself these 4 questions. When are you growing? In which areas are you growing? Who is helping you grow? How are you applying what you learn? So it's really just a basic recap of what this is. But if you don't have a solid answer to one or more, think about this. If you don't have a solid answer to one or more of these questions, then take some time to develop a more intentional plan of your personal growth. And I like this. I put this last one on here. Let me move on. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Okay. I watched a YouTube video that I believe all of you need to watch. If you haven't, some of you might have already watched it. You should take a picture of this, or you'll have it from the replay. This, I love it. Think about this as we finish. And if you guys have questions, I'll open it up for a couple questions or comments. But personal growth starts and ends with intentionality. The law of intentionality is growth doesn't just happen Life is in session. Are you present? I believe the greatest law, and I believe it's why, I love it that one of my mentors in business is Brandon Cunningham, and him and Lynette taught this at our LifeVantage our LifeVantage Elite Academy. Actually, it was at convention. They taught personal growth. They taught the law of intentionality. Okay, and this is a video of John Maxwell teaching the law of intentionality to a group of network marketers. It's a live video from Atlanta, Georgia. I've watched it 3 times. I hope that you guys will take some time to go and watch it and learn from it. It's massive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this recording, and then I'm going to open it up for you guys to make some comments or some questions. So let me stop the recording real quick.